Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We have the green F-150's chassis here, and we're basically checking over the frame here. And what we're doing is we're going to check all of our body mount locations. And whenever you have these rubber body mounts like this, usually your front ones aren't a problem until you get very, very rusty and you start rotting out the insides. Usually your problem is your back one here that crosses over for the back of the cab. Now it doesn't matter if you have a regular cab, a super cab, or a crew cab. These body mounts are the same. It is even the same rubber mounts top, rubber mounts bottom, same bolts, same retainers, same. Even the mounts and cross members. The only time the cross member in the back changes is from pickup to cab and chassis because we go narrower. So when you take these body mounts out, if you buy the S&B kit, which is my go-to setup, if you are doing body mounts, don't even waste your time with poly stuff. It's garbage. So, if you're going to do body mounts, you want to do a silicone-based body mount. S&B makes the best, in my opinion, right now. So, even your OEM Ford ones, when they were new, they're good. Here we are, 30 years later almost, and it's like, okay, well, these rubber bushings are still okay. So I have a set of them here, which I'm taking out of this truck, and they're starting to dry rot, and they're starting to crack, and, they start to rust and everything like that. So I'm going to talk a little bit about body mounts today. Now, I don't have a set of S&B ones here right now. They're at the moment on back order, so getting those is a little bit more difficult, but the factory Ford ones come with an upper isolator, and it's got a metal retainer, and your factory Ford comes with a lower isolator and then your metal retainer. Now these are two different pieces. So these sandwich between your mount and hold everything together. So when you buy the S&B kit, they give you a puller and a bolt so that you can, thread a bolt into the bottom retainer and pull the retainer out of the upper cup because they are pressed together. So say that's not working for you and you don't know what to do. Well, there's not a real good way to do it with the cab on, but I'm going to show you how to get these body mounts off with the cab off. So you're going to need a bolt and a hammer, but I'll show you how to get them off without using a puller laying on the ground. But obviously you need to have the cab off to do this. If you don't want to do this with the cab off, you can do this with the cab on, but instead of having, say, a 6-inch long bolt, you're going to need something that is probably 12 to 15 inches long for the rear, because your rear bolt is this long already. I think it's 8 or 9 inches long. So you need something that's going to be longer than that. And then the front ones are a little bit shorter, but it has to come up out of the floor. So you need some space there. And then you don't have a whole lot of space with the dash in the way and everything like that to do your front ones here. So if you have your cab off and you don't want to do the puller method, because I have had the puller method fail on me, usually this method works pretty good. Now, I've had it where you can get them apart with a smaller hammer than this. So I think this one is a 32 ounce, nope, that's a 56 ounce hammer. You can do it with a smaller hammer than that. And I've seen it where you can swing a 20-pound sledge at them and they don't come apart. So depending on the severity of your rust will depend on the size of your hammer here. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to get these body mounts out. Now I've done a couple of them, so I'm going to show those ones to you. And then I have this last one here that I haven't taken out yet. It is still firmly attached to the cab or the frame here. So we're going to go ahead, show these to you, and then show you how to get this last mount out of here with a bolt and a hammer. So it won't be too bad to do as long as you have decent aim and everything's not horribly rusty. So we have our mount here that I was showing you earlier. So we have the upper here, and you can see the dry rot in the side of it here. And then we have our lower isolator and our lower retainer, which holds our bolt. Now underneath there, we have a pretty nice cab mount, which is great. So if we would obviously take all of these off like we've done to Project Farm Use to get behind everything to sandblast. So we have the same thing over here. We have an upper. Now this one isn't as dry rotted as the other side, but it is beginning to start. And we have a nice clean cab mount, which is great. Now back here, these guys are usually the culprit. These usually fail and sag. And especially with the crew cabs with the extra weight here, these will fail a lot faster. So you can see that this is clean, but you can see it's starting to get a little bit crusty here. And this is because this is a plain steel. This was never coated like the front cab mounts being coated. So those are coated with a powder coat, and you can see the powder coat does come off over time. So I don't like the powder coat too much, but these really rot out back here, and they do make frame savers to weld into these, and to weld into these. Now, these guys are the hardest to get out, and I don't even know if these will come out today. So we're gonna give these a shot too and see how those are gonna come out. So we have, obviously the core support isn't on here, so we unthreaded the nut, and usually you have rust damage like we have here, where the bolt is super thin, and that's just rust and corrosion. But the one thing we're going to do is we'll blow out the dirt that's in here to try to get these out of here, just to see what we got underneath this cab mount. So because a lot of guys get really stuck on this lower mount here, because these are two pieces are actually threaded together. So the bolt threads into this top piece here. So getting these out can be a real pain in the butt. And I've had to cut these off. I've torched them off. Torching is ill-advised because it reeks horribly bad. So show you how to try to hopefully get these out. We'll see if they'll actually come out. This one we might have to cut. The other side's probably a little bit better candidate. So we're gonna go ahead and get the rest of these body mounts out and see how it goes. So we're gonna sweep this up first and see how this goes. So that got rid of the heavy stuff there. And if you're not, I just don't want to use the air today, but giving it a couple hits with that, and you want to make sure you don't screw up the threads here because you're going to need those. So what that does is that loosens up a lot more dirt. So that loosens up a lot more dirt for us here, and hopefully we'll be able to unthread this from the mount itself. So the other side is going to be a little bit more difficult. This bolt here is in a lot better shape than the other bolt, but if you have a bolt like the other side, I'll show you a little trick, because if you have no threads in the middle here, that's going to cause a problem, because you start unthreading, there's a very good possibility that you're just going to get stuck where there's no threads. But we'll start with this guy here and see if it's going to come out, and hopefully it does. So these are a 15 millimeter, and the rest of your body bolts originally are 16 millimeter. So this guy should unthread a little bit. So you can see that that did nothing. So we have a mid-torque 3/8 here with a almost dead battery. So I'm gonna grab the bigger impact for this, and I gotta grab something to hold the body mount here. So we have to hold this top piece here, and I have the big boy here. So just like that is how these come apart. So there's an upper on this and a lower on here as well, and they're pretty well stuck together here. So the lower comes off, and you can see that it's very well disintegrated here, and this top piece here is kind of stuck on here. Yeah, so it's in there pretty good, but we'll get it out of there and hopefully get it out of here. Yeah, we'll get it out of here, and it's just kind of over the time rusted itself into place, so to speak. So you can see how well this one came out, but it definitely took some work. So the other one is not going to be as easy as that one, and that one was still kind of a pain to get out. And this truck is from Texas, so that just shows you how these bolts can actually get over time. So I'll show you how to get this other one out a little bit differently instead of unthreading the whole bolt here, and then we'll get that last mount off in the back. So basically what you want to do here is where this thin spot is here, you want to cut this off. So you can do that with a fully threaded bolt that isn't rusted, but with this one being that rusty, that little thin spot was going to cause you a problem. So you can do this on the other one too and cut it off so you don't have to thread it all the way out. But if you cut that rusty area off there, that will help you get that bolt out. So one thing we are going to do here is hit this with the hammer. Now the reason we hit it like that is to try to shock this bolt and hopefully get it to break free there. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to try and get that bolt out of there. So you can see we're spinning that top bushing. So we're going to have to go ahead and hold on to it here. So this is what the bottom of these bushings look like. You can see that there's a hex in there and there's a hex here. So this is an F-150 frame. So these are welded to the frame rail here. So these have to, if these get rotted out, you have to use frame savers to repair these. You can't technically buy this whole piece. So this is why these always get stuck on there, because they rot like they did there. And same thing on this side, you can see that this thing is pretty well hosed. And you can see that the bolt here had actually another thin spot down below where we cut it off. So the fact that we didn't have to go through two thin spots makes it a lot easier. And then you can see what you have under this mount. We have to get the other one off of there. It's just kind of stuck on there. So shouldn't be too bad to get off of there once we get it off. But we got that other rubber to get off of there, and then we got to get that back one separated, and hopefully everything comes out okay. So this guy just doesn't want to come out of here. So just a little bit of pry bar and out it comes. So that one's still in really good shape, which is what we want to see here, and just needed to get popped out of there. So now that we got this out, we'll go ahead and get that back one. So we're going to take our bolt here. Now these are 7/16. I don't know the thread size, but it's a coarse 7/16. It's your standard, whatever you want to call it, coarse thread 7/16. So you want to thread this down in there. You don't want it to be super tight. You want to be able to do it very easily here, and that's what you're shooting for. So I think that this bolt is 6 to 8 inches long. So it's not super long, but you want it long enough that, you know, you can get it down in here and have a little bit of bolt sticking up above. So just a couple turns in there, and then we're going to go ahead and smack the top of that guy. So we threaded this down in there, and just gonna have to, you know, hit it. And just like that, you have your mount out. Now this is the fuel tank side, so we're dealing with the rubber here. So there we are. So the bolt, you can then unscrew out of the lower retainer. You can see how much rust is down in there. And this is obviously the top, but you know, not too much in there. But these retainers press together. Let's see, we'll grab a different retainer here. So these retainers press together like this, and you can see that these are well worn, so they press together nice, but once you tighten them down, they kind of hold together a little bit better, and then they rust together. So that's why you have to pound them apart, because they just don't come apart. But so those sit down in there, and they're pretty easy to get out. And this frame mount over here doesn't look too bad either. So pretty happy with all the mounts on this frame. We don't have to replace any of them, or you know, they're usable to, you know, hey, we're gonna not use this frame at all, or whatever. You know, you want to take these out and use them in another truck. That's another possibility here. So the idea was, I wanted to show you guys how to get these mounts out. I know that the front ones can be the worst, and getting these separated can sometimes be a real pain in the butt. Like I said, we used a 56-ounce hammer here, and I had to swing it pretty good to get that separated out. And sometimes you got to use an even bigger hammer to get these apart. Now, what's nice about the OBS ones is that these nuts are welded to the actual retainer a lot better than the E-Series stuff. So if you tried to do this with the E-Series, you're just gonna basically take the nut on the bottom of the retainer and launch it off. So if you're doing this with an E-Series, it's a pain in the butt to get those apart, because they are stuck, and the welding process they used on the lower retainers is poor. But hopefully this will help you guys out in getting your body mounts off your OBS Ford, and show you what you have to do to get these off, and hopefully, you know, kind of give you an idea, even if you're doing this with the cab on, what you're expecting to do to get these off. So how they're held together, and how everything's put together, and how you can get it all apart, and what you need to use to get it apart. So hopefully this helps you guys out in working on your truck and restoring it, or whatever you're doing, replacing body mounts, anything. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it, and we'll catch you on the next one.